Good day to you all. Learners Not is a teaching learning online platform to encourage better way of education among our students. My name is Shaino Mary Jacob, your chemistry teacher. So let's discuss about separation of substances. What do you mean by separation? We need to separate some elements or compounds from a mixture. So today in this video we are going to learn some techniques used to separate the substances. These are the daily life situations you come across in your daily life. That is, we used to separate tea leaves from tea, and we used to separate or make butter from milk. These are the techniques we use to separate substances in our day-to-day life. So now we are going to discuss some simple techniques or the methods used in our life to separate a group of mixture substances from a group of mixture. The first technique used is very familiar to you, that is the hand picking method. So if you want to cook rice, then you have rice with you and you have some dirt particles or some husk in it. What will you do? We'll hand pick the dirt particles or the stones. If you have stones in rice, we will hand pick all the stones from the rice. Similarly, we'll separate large particles. If the particles are large, then only we can do the technique of hand picking. The particles are large enough so that we can hand pick the larger particles from the substance or from the compound, and we'll do hand picking. So this is a very simple technique used in our day-to-day life. And now, second method of separation is the threshing. Threshing is used for separating grains from harvested stock. So we'll get grains like this and we have to separate the grain particles from the stock. So in earlier days, manual threshing were used. That is, women or the people will strike the stalk on a harder surface and will get the grains separately. This is manual threshing, and later animal threshing was used. And now the technology has improved a lot, and now we have machines to do threshing. So when we put our stalks into the machine, we'll get the grain particles separately. So there are mainly three types of threshing, that is manual threshing, animal threshing and machine threshing. So machine threshing is used nowadays so we can quickly get the grain particles from the stalks. And the third method of separation that we commonly use is winnowing. Winnowing is a separation of components from the mixture. So in this method, the lighter particles and the heavier particles. So when we have grains with us and when we have husk, that is very lighter particle that will flow in the direction of air. So when we do the winnowing method, we'll see all the husk particles, that is lighter particles, will get separated in the direction of air. And what happens? The heavier particles, the grains, that won't flow in the direction of air, and we will get that grain separately in the beaker or the platform. So we'll get all the grain particles separately and the lighter particles is removed separately. So this is the machine used to do winnowing. So nowadays for larger particles, so we have a very huge amount of components, we will use machine winnowing. So we have gone through hand picking, threshing and winnowing. And next we have sieving. Sieving is a technique used when components of a mixture have different sizes. This is a sieving we used to do before cooking. Like we used to sieve it through we use sieving method through a sieve. So not only for cooking, while we do build houses and all, we will separate the sand particles. We want the very lighter particles of sand and we will separate the heavier or the big size particle from the sand through the method of sieving. And now we have three major techniques used to separate substances. That is, the first one is sedimentation, the second is decantation, and the third one is filtration. So let me ask you, how would you separate a muddy water? If you have a muddy water with you and will keep on a table for an hour or for a long time, what happens? Yes, all the mud will remain at the bottom and we will get the clear water on the top of the vessel. And the mud, that is the heavier particle, will remain at the bottom. So the method of separation or the sediment, the mud will sediment at the bottom. That method is known as sedimentation. So it will take time to separate the muddy water and the liquid. So next is decantation. So we want the liquid separately on another vessel. So we will, without disturbing much disturbance to the vessel, we will separate out the liquid separately from the vessel. So that process of separating the liquid from the vessel is known as decantation. And the third one is filtration. We use filter paper to separate solid from liquid. So if we have some particles or dirts or the solid in the liquid, we will separate it out to get the pure liquid. So the simple example given here is tea leaves is separated from tea. We don't like tea leaves or the particles in the tea. So we will separate all the tea leaves from the tea before drinking using the process of filtration. Now we have to discuss about the technique of evaporation. What happens when we boil water? After reaching a boiling point, the water starts to evaporate. So the liquid, the water is a liquid and the liquid starts to evaporate and will get steam, that is water vapor. So same technique is called evaporation, that is the water converts directly into water vapor. So the conversion of water into its vapor is known as evaporation. It is seen in ocean. In the presence of sun, that is the heat, the water will raise to water vapor and we will see water vapor in our or the moisture content in our atmosphere. It is a technique used to separate salt from salt water. We have salt water and the water will get evaporated in the presence of heat and we will get the remaining salt. And next technique is condensation. So we know liquid is converted to water vapor and when we take ice to it, that is when we cool down the water vapor, we have observed that we will get the liquid back. So from the water vapor we will get the liquid. So that process is known as condensation. So the conversion of water vapor into its liquid is known as condensation. So the evaporation and condensation, it is a water cycle. This is a process how we will get rain. So the water is converted to water vapor and then it's cooled down in the clouds and we will get rain. So evaporation and condensation are the two techniques, very important techniques that we have discussed in this video. So in this video we have discussed the main methods used to separate mixtures. So we have gone through sieving, winnowing, hand picking, threshing, and then we have discussed sedimentation, decantation and filtration. And the two last techniques were evaporation and condensation. So there are some questions: what is sieving, what is winnowing, and how will you obtain clear water from a sample of muddy water? We can use the technique of sedimentation. Dear students, I hope you have understood the topic discussed in the video thoroughly. Learners Note believes in the learning concept through learn by doing method. So for this, we have plenty of videos related to your topic and your syllabus. For this, please do visit our website www.learnersnote.com. I'm Shaino Mary Jacob, your chemistry teacher, signing off. Let's catch up through our online interactive learning sessions. Thank you.